Why? You could have seen my car was downstairs. Problem is optional, management, GS, essay. पागल हो जाऊंगा. Why? Why? Coming late? So we are doing the one theorems. Will complete the locational theories. कल मैं paper 2 का topics discuss करूँगा. I will discuss industrial locations, automobile industry, pharma industry, so that Weber के बाद it is very easy. Fine? Understanding? So locational theories में we started with one theorem. And अभी तक हमने किया one theorem का is a deterministic theory. So question 1, what is the concept of isolated state? अगर आया तो लिख पाओगे? Fine? कि उसमें there is no linkages, nothing, etc. Second question, what is the concept of locational rent? This question comes. So इतना ही नहीं लिखना है जहाँ तक हमने लिखा है. Fine. What is the locational rent? In simple words, can I say it is profit? Profit is the locational rent. How much you will get from a particular region plus what is uska kharcha? What is how much you spend on that particular region? Fine. So if you are nearer to the city center, if you are nearer to the urban center, you are nearer to one kind of an particular ecosystem to some extent. So I can say the demand is very high. Because the demand is very high for any business, the rent is very high in that region. For any business, the rent is very high. Understanding? For example, you come to Rajendra Nagar, जो मैंने example लिया था, tell a broker that you want to open a class. Fine? Tell a broker that you are a student. आप दोनों के लिए rent अलग है. For a local person, do you think local person will be paying as much rent as you pay? 35,000, 40,000 for a matchbox, right? Nahi. So for them, the rent is different. This is what is the concept of a locational rent. So the concept of the locational rent, आज का lecture, again, जैसे ही एक lecture was very crucial, आज का lecture will be very, very crucial. Paper 2 पूरा आज के lecture पे based है. 2 chapters इसके. Fine? And you should not study for paper 2. You should just have in mind paper 2. Understanding? खुल्लर वो सब लेके रटना नहीं होता. Look at the questions are application based. Look at the खुल्लर gives, this is the name of mine, 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 ये नहीं करना होता है. Fine? So understand today's 2 theories. We will do the 3 theories, but understand today's 2 theories. So first, one theorems theory based on the concept of the locational rent. Locational rent, how much you will have from an area. For any economic activity, if you go away from the market, the demand of that economic activity starts falling. Fine? Why? Because economic activity is based on the market demand and supply, right? So as the demand of that economic activity starts falling down, we can say after some time the economic activity may not become profitable because distance and transportation cost increases. And इसीलिए हमने ग्राफ बनाया था कि if this is the economic activity, rent इसका locational rent profit is high. उसके बाद profit goes on decreasing. क्यों decrease होते जा रहा है profit? Because transportation cost is increasing, and after some time the profit becomes more or less zero. So you should not use this economic activity. You should not do any kind of economic activity after certain distance. This concept of the locational rent, the concept of the locational rent was used to understand सबसे पहले what should be the intensity of the farming. Fine. Second, what crops can be grown in this region. And third, to give the entire theory. So अगर past year questions देखोगे, and see questions will be repeated, कोई नया question नहीं आएगा यहाँ से. If you look at the past year questions, most of the questions I have been asking about the write the von Theunen's model या उसका relevance in the present day times. Fine. Relevance कैसे हमेशा पढ़ना है? We should study the relevance at national level, at local level, at international level and current case study. Fine. 70% of marks कहीं नहीं जाते इस topic में से. If you write it very properly. If you write bookish language, you are not going to get the marks. So entire theory may come, most of the time comes. पर अगर कल क्वेश्चन आता है what do you understand by the locational rent, आंसर यही है entire theory, because the entire theory is based on the concept of the economic or locational rent. The only difference in the answer will be you have to focus more on these 2 points. Entire theory में you have to focus on something else. Understanding? Bad luckily or good luck, मैं तो खुश हो जाऊंगा अगर ऐसा क्वेश्चन पूछता है यूपीएससी. If your luck is very good and UPSC now starts asking 60 marker question again instead of 20 marker, क्या पूछेगी? Write a short note on or write an answer on the von Theunen's model. जो पता है सब कुछ लिखना है. Understanding? जो पता है सब कुछ लिखना है. Problem होता है when the questions are becoming smaller and smaller, and maybe not next year but 2-3 years में 60 marker questions are going to be coming back to UPSC. UPSC के inside panel का recommendations है कि the present day GS का paper system does not test the ability of the candidates to think originally. Understanding? He is just becoming a mugging machine. It does not test the ability of the candidate to express his own thoughts. It does not test the ability, analytical skills of the candidate. Right? Don't you think so? 20 marker में. So, जो हमारे टाइम होता था before 2012, 50% syllabus करके जाओ optional का, बस. If you know that very properly, it is done. Any optional का. Then 50% syllabus करके जाओ optional का. But see, you don't have to wait for 3 years for that, right? अगले साल ही selection ले लो. You don't have to wait for 3 years for that, because recommendations, practice में आना वो सब में it takes huge amount of time. Yes. Yes. With the melting of the Arctic Council, Heartland and Rimland का concept ही खत्म हो जाएगा. वो भी Rimland बन जाएगा. With the melting of Arctic Ocean, not Council. Fine. And Heartland को एक नया दरवाजा खुल जाएगा. So Heartland has only one entry. Wrong हो गया. Heartland ही नहीं बचा, because there is an entry point from Arctic. Getting it? Current based Heartland Rimland का मैं ये जो 3 theories है जो main है वो खत्म होने के बाद मैं फिर से current base पे आऊँगा Heartland and Rimland का. Fine. See now, because she has asked a question regarding Arctic, so 2-3 points is 100% question in prelims. Mains में तो आ सकता है. Tell me what are the points, what is going to happen because of this. Quickly, जो prelims में कभी-कभी एक factual question आता है, what will happen due to the melting of Arctic? नहीं, prelims के लिए, GS के लिए क्या-क्या याद रखोगे? Can I say global warming, rise in the sea level? So that is very fine, rise in sea level. Can I submergence of coastal lands? क्यों? Winters will be more severe. Winters में हमेशा बारिश होगी. It is the summer time melting of the Arctic. Winters क्यों है? Pressure difference between the 2 different air masses. So polar vortex will become more stronger. See, this is November. ये ठंड है 15 दिसंबर की. It is not even 15th November. This temperature जो है ये 15 दिसंबर को होना चाहिए in Delhi. So imagine what is going to happen on 15 December. Plus ये थोड़ा गर्म है, याद रखना. Had there been no pollution, ये और ठंडा हो जाता. But because of the pollution is acting like a greenhouse gas. So ये थोड़ी ज़्यादा गर्मी है. So there is one benefit of pollution. Right? Shorter but intense winter. Winters will come, it will be shorter. Instead of 3 months, it will be 15 days. 15 days में, can I say albedo will decrease? एंड जिसके लिए मैं ये डिस्कस कर रहा हूँ, कैन आई से, आजकल यूपीएससी का फेवरेट है मीथेन गैस, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, इतने सारे क्वेश्चंस पूछ लिए कि अब मीथेन पे पूछने लग गया. मीथेन विल इंक्रीज और डिक्रीज, मीथेन एमिशंस, व्हाई? Methane emissions will increase. क्वेश्चन इज ये याद रखो. फाइन. सो कल डायरेक्ट एक फैक्ट आ सकता है, ड्यू टू द मेल्टिंग ऑफ आइस कैप्स ऑफ द आर्टिक्स देयर विल बी राइज इन द मीथेन एमिशंस. व्हाई? यस और नो? यस, बिकॉज अब तो देयर इज परमाफ्रॉस्ट रीजन. आफ्टर द मेल्टिंग देयर विल बी सॉइल्स. There will be soil, and in the soil there will be more microorganisms, and this microorganisms will help in breaking down methane and carbon dioxide. ये है concept. Fine. Now there are very less microorganisms, but there will be more microorganisms which will help in breaking down this thing. Understanding this? So therefore we are saying methane emissions are going to increase in the future in the global warming. Albedo वो सब तो पता है. ये जो points है, इस साल क्वेश्चन पेपर में ऐसे पॉइंट्स बहुत ज़्यादा थे, इसलिए प्रीलिम्स थोड़ी डिफिकल्ट लग रही थी. ये जो एक्सेस पॉइंट्स, एंड दिस आर, आई एम टेलिंग यू दिस डायरेक्टली फ्रॉम टुडेज रेडियो डिस्कशन ऑफ BBC. फाइन. रेडियो डिस्कशन ऑफ BBC. सब कुछ रहेगा. टेम्परेचर डिफरेंस थोड़ा भी है तो फ्रेंड्स बनेंगे. ऐसा नहीं है ना कि वहाँ का टेम्परेचर विल बिकम 30 डिग्री सेल्सियस. इंस्टेड ऑफ 0 डिग्री इट विल बिकम 5 डिग्री, 6 डिग्री, 7 डिग्री. स्ट्रॉन्ग फ्रेंड्स. बट GS में दे डोंट आस्क यू टेक्निकल्स, दे विल आस्क यू समथिंग लाइक दिस. फाइन. कैन आई कंटिन्यू? We have drawn this diagram. What was the last statement I gave you? Minus the transportation cost. Thus the locational rent, or economic rent is defined as the level of returns, underline the word level of returns, that market expects a particular piece of land to produce. Read that again. What do you mean by this statement? Locational rent क्या है? Returns market expects कि XYZ piece of land will produce. मतलब can I say it is nothing but what advantage a land has from another. Suppose you have now 1 crore rupees, fine, 1 crore X, and आपको इन्वेस्ट करना है. कहाँ पे करोगे आप? लैंड में. कहाँ पे लैंड में? जहाँ अर्बन सेंटर में या अर्बन सेंटर के थोड़ा आउटस्कर्ट्स में? अर्बन सेंटर के आउटस्कर्ट्स में. बट you have 1 crore rupees and you are a farmer. किस में इन्वेस्ट करोगे आप? Again land urban centers के थोड़ा outskirts में. Now you are a businessman of having a retail business and you have 1 crore rupees. कहाँ पे इन्वेस्ट करोगे आप? अर्बन सेंटर में. मे बी एक कहीं जहाँ पे अफोर्ड नहीं हो सकता. सपोज यू आर अ डीलर ऑफ अ सैमसंग और डीलर ऑफ XYZ फोन. You will, with that 1 crore rupees, you won't be interested in buying a land outside the urban center. You will be interested in buying a small shop in the middle of a city center. क्यों? क्योंकि आपके बिजनेस के लिए the particular piece of a land, एक कनॉट प्लेस में एक छोटा शॉप इज मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट देन फार्मर के लिए जो 1 एकड़ की लैंड जो बाहर आएगी. दिस इज व्हाट इज नोन एज एन लोकेशनल रेंट. सो लोकेशनल रेंट डिटरमिन्स depends upon business activity, what kind of the economic activity you are doing it. Getting it? That is, in other words लिखने की जरूरत नहीं. That is, it is the advantage of one piece of the land over other. Advantage of one piece of the land over other. Now, in the von Thunen theory, is production cost same everywhere? Right? Is the fertility of the soil same everywhere? Labor cost same everywhere? Right? So, locational rent is determined by the distance away from the market, because बाकी के inputs are same. So, your profit will be determined by the distance away or nearer to the market, because ये problem है theory का. It considers all the factors being same. So, what is your locational rent? Locational rent कितना आपको profit मिलेगा depends upon whether you are placed at point A or point B. Why? Because at the point B, what will be extra is the transportation cost. Getting it? So, in the von Thunen model, next point. In the von Thunen model, since all the other inputs such as price, production cost, is same, price, production cost is same, the only advantage is based on distance. Understanding this? And therefore, locational rent is equal to cost of agricultural product, write in the form of equation, plus cost of production what is the price of agricultural product plus the cost of production minus cost of land. Fine? और एग्जाम में अगर याद है तो राइट दिस. If you find it easy, remember this. अगर equations में याद नहीं रह सकते तो remember that. LR is Y, that is yield upon market में जो price मिल रहा है minus cost of production, fine, minus Y yield कितना है आपका upon transportation cost into distance. If the yield is less, distance अगर ज़्यादा है then also the transportation cost will be less because transportation cost depends upon tonnage per unit कितना वजन है. Getting it? Understanding? So where yes, ये तो assumption ही है ना उसका. इंटेंसिटी डिपेंड करेगी लोकेशनल रेंट पे. प्रोडक्शन चेंज होगी. ये तो लोकेशनल रेंट हम डिटरमाइन कर रहे हैं. फिर लोकेशनल रेंट डिटरमाइन करने के बाद हम इंटेंसिटी को डिटरमाइन करेंगे. वेट फॉर 2 minutes. यस. हाँ. मीन्स नॉट नेस, यही तो उसका कहना है, जरूरी नहीं ना. योर क्वेश्चन वेट फॉर 20 minutes. उनके क्वेश्चन के लिए वेट फॉर 2 minutes. हर क्वेश्चन इज if the land is very far away from the agri market, what kind of profit the farmer can get. वॉन थियोरन ने उसका आंसर दिया है कि कौन सा क्रॉप लेना चाहिए. हिज क्वेश्चन इज इंटेंसिटी किसके ऊपर डिपेंडेंट करेगी. उसका भी आंसर दिया है वॉन थियोरन ने बेस्ड ऑन द लोकेशनल रेंट व्हाट विल बी द इंटेंसिटी ऑफ फार्मिंग. सो लेट मी फर्स्ट राइट दिस. वी आर कमिंग टू द फर्स्ट हिज पॉइंट इंटेंसिटी. वॉन थियोरन के पास है इसका आंसर. यील्ड per unit of land. M is the market price. Per unit of XYZ product. C is production cost per unit. T is transportation cost per unit. D is distance from market. Distance from market. Unit is kg. So what is the profit or locational rent you are getting in this? Suppose we are taking any quantity in 100 kgs. Yield is 100 kgs. Market price per unit is 10 rupees per kg. Your production cost is 5 rupees per kg. Your transportation cost is 2 rupees per kg. But it is located at very near the market, so you are not going to get any. आपको देना ही नहीं है. So can I say it is nothing but 100 into 5, that is 500 rupees is your locational rent. Understanding? Understanding this? This is just an assumption. It's just an assumption I am telling you. ये example है, ये लिखना नहीं है. It's just to make you explain how the locational rent is calculated. Now suppose if you take this as 10 kilometers. So what it will be? 100 into 5 minus 10 into 2 into 10. That is 500 minus 200. Your profit decreases. So इसलिए वो point है, the only thing that is depends is distance. होता ही नहीं ना, वॉन थ्योरम में होता नहीं है ना ऐसा. So आजकल फार्मर्स का यही है ना प्रॉब्लम. कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन इज सो हाई कि मार्केट में उनको कम मिल रहा है, प्लस दिस थिंग डिस्टेंस एक्सेट्रा. सो कल अगर क्वेश्चन आता है जीएस में डबलिंग फार्मर्स इनकम, लिख पाओगे, आज भी लिख पाओगे. कल अगर क्वेश्चन आता है ऑप्शनल में डबलिंग फार्मर्स इनकम, तो अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट यू हैव टू पुट एक्स्ट्रा टू फेच मार्क्स. यू हैव टू मेक दिस कंसेप्ट ऑफ लोकेशनल रेंट. ऐसे होते हैं ऑप्शनल के आंसर पेपर 2 के. यू हैव टू पुट वॉन थ्योरम्स का मॉडल, पुट लोकेशन, you don't have to put the entire model, सिर्फ इंट्रोड्यूस करना है द कंसेप्ट ऑफ लोकेशनल रेंट, एंड ये लिखना है. एंड उसके बाद लिखना है द प्रोडक्शन कॉस्ट इंक्लूड्स फर्टिलाइजर्स, पेस्टिसाइड्स, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, equipments, and therefore we see the production cost has increased. Plus due to we being dependent on imported fuel, petrol, right, petrol dependent, jiska price is fixed as per market, with any changes in the market the transportation cost also varies. So farmer has only one variable, that is the cost of production is increasing, transportation cost is increasing, and hence farmers are demanding that at least 50% of the price should be declared as an MSP. बस यही आंसर में चेंज होगा. बिल्कुल नहीं, बिल्कुल भी नहीं. जीएस का आंसर शुड बी वेरी जनरल. आप इसको फिर डायग्रामेटिकली बता सकते हो, हाँ, बट वॉन थ्योरम का नाम नहीं आना चाहिए जीएस के आंसर. समझ जाएगा वो कि ये ऑप्शन इसका ज्योग्राफी है, कोई और नहीं पढ़ता वॉन थ्योरम. यही होता है. या आपने बहुत अच्छी क्वालिटी भी लिखी तो ऐसा सोचेगा अरे ये तो ज्योग्राफी वाला है तो इसको क्या मार्क्स देने हैं, एवरेज मार्क्स ही मिलेंगे. पर उसको ये याद नहीं आएगा जब आप आर्ट एंड कल्चर में आंसर नहीं लिख पाओगे, तब वो भूल जाएगा कि ये ज्योग्राफी वाला है, इसको कैसे आर्ट एंड कल्चर आएंगे. तो जितना भी एवरेज लिखा है तो मैं इसको फुल मार्क्स देता हूँ, ऐसे नहीं होगा. ह्यूमन मेंटालिटी, human mentality is what? When Virat Kohli hits a century, he is the best batsman. When he gets out on 0, he is the worst batsman. He should be removed from the captaincy. This is what is the human mentality. Getting it? So based on, next point, based on the concept of locational rent, based on the concept of locational rent, Von Thunen tried to explain separately, first लिखो properly, and intensity of the cultivation. Explain. One, intensity of the cultivation. Don't try anything. We tried to explain the intensity of the cultivation. So M is the market, you are a farmer. What do you mean by intensive farming? Each and every piece of the land is utilized. Fine. You may grow different types of crops or you may use the same type of crop. अगर rice भी कर रहे हो, and even if you are not engaging in multiple cropping, if you are going only one crop, that is rice, intensive cultivation करना पड़ता है. Each and every piece of the land has to be utilized. So for utilizing each and every piece of the land, छोड़ो. This entire distance is 100 kilometers. This distance is 10 kilometers. This distance is 20. This distance comes up to 50 kilometers at point A. कहाँ पे आप intensive cultivation करोगे? Near the market या very far away from the market? Why? Why near the market? That was your doubt? Why near the market? Land will be very expensive, yes, right? Therefore, intensive cultivation means more production, greater yield. So now because you are nearer to the market, if you engage in extensive cultivation, आपका production कम होगा, but the rent of the land is very high, so you are not going to make profit. But if you are nearer to the market and do intensive cultivation, you will engage, you will have more and more yields, frequent yields. Maybe आप कोई भी महीने में ज़मीन खाली नहीं रखोगे, means you will not leave the land fallow. You have to think even in the yearly terms. You are going to use your land very intensively in each and every time, and as a result of this, you are going to get more profit because this land is having higher rent. If you are not doing intensive cultivation, then Sinclair कहता है, who modified the वॉन थ्योरन का थियरी, यू शुड नॉट डू एग्रीकल्चर हियर. ये ज़मीन खाली रखो, इसलिए खाली रखो क्योंकि इट इज़ नियर द अर्बन सेंटर, यहाँ पे हमेशा स्पेकुलेशन होगा. You should not use this for agriculture. There will be speculation. As soon as the price rises, sell it to someone else. Fine? But if you are doing agriculture, you should do intensive cultivation here. Intensive cultivation, you will get more profit because you will go daily to the market, you will sell it, and more profit, say you can buy more fertilizers, more pesticides, and thus your production goes on increasing. Fine? If a person who is located at this point, point A, point X, if he engages in intensive cultivation, he will have to sell his product to the market. To selling his product to the market, he will have to frequently go to the market, and then there will be more transportation costs. So he should do extensive cultivation. उसने खाली छोड़नी चाहिए ज़मीन साल में एक बार, क्योंकि ज़मीन जब खाली छोड़ेगा, that is if he keeps the land fallow, FALLOW, तो land will regenerate. Land will regenerate. He is reducing his production cost. He does not have to invest in fertilizers and pesticides. This person can invest in fertilizers and pesticides because he is doing intensive cultivation and hence he is earning more money. He cannot, he should not. Fine? Because he tries buying fertilizers and pesticides, and if the production increases, बेचोगे किसको? Transportation cost is per kilometer based, weight based. Understanding? So this is what about the intensive cultivation. So can I say the intensity of the cultivation goes on decreasing away from the market? Fine? If it is very, very far away from the market, there should be extensive cultivation. If it is nearer to the market, there should be intensive cultivation. Simple? Yes, that is why he is saying he will buy more pesticides, fertilizers, and he will always keep on increasing the production. Cost will be increasing, but he is saving on the transportation cost. Cost will be increasing, production will be increasing. So increased cost is offset by more production. Getting it? And transportation cost is ko kam hai. So most intensive zone of cultivation, less intensive, extensive cultivation. और फिर खाली ज़मीन. ये बिल्कुल भी नहीं. एक्सटेंसिव ओनली. एंड अगर बहुत दूर है तो उसने एग्रीकल्चर ही नहीं करना चाहिए. अंडरस्टैंडिंग? ही शुड ग्रो फॉडर क्रॉप्स, जो भेड़ बकरियों को काम में आएगा. गेटिंग इट? Now you have to understand how his theory is applicable in the modern times. Delhi used to end at Yamuna, right? Even today, as soon as you cross Yamuna, that is Mayur Vihar, Lakshmi Nagar, that area, you will see वहाँ पे vegetable is being grown, intensive cultivation. उसके साथ साथ there are bullock carts, there is cattle rearing, milk production. उसके साथ साथ you will find some kind of poultries over there. ये है Van Thunen in real life. Understanding? अगर वो यमुना के पास जो रहता है, just touching the boundary of Delhi, if he starts taking wheat and sugar cane, कुछ फायदा नहीं होगा. Sugar cane land इतनी छोटी है, the land is so less कि sugar cane सिर्फ वो अपने personal consumption के लिए ले सकता है. Getting it? This is what is the Van Thunen का model. So the intensity of the cultivation goes on decreasing as the distance from the market increases. Person who is located here will do intensive cultivation because he has less transportation cost, and therefore greater the production, he can sell it into the market. Over the period of time, as the land degrades, this person can afford to buy more and more inputs. इसीलिए मैंने ये किया था, because इसका profit है 500 रुपया, fine? इसका प्रॉफिट है 300 रुपया. सो 200 रुपया एक्स्ट्रा प्रॉफिट वो कुछ भी बाय कर सकता है, बिकॉज ही इज वेरी नियर टू द मार्केट. अंडरस्टैंडिंग? ही इज वेरी फार अवे फ्रॉम द मार्केट. तो एक्सेस प्रोड्यूस क्या करेगा उसका? Meerut is very nearby. Meerut is what, 2 hours. Meerut don't take example. Take an example of Jaisalmer. If Jaisalmer में something is being produced and he wants to sell in Delhi, right? Production बढ़ेगा तो D भी तो बढ़ेगा, weight. Transportation cost is per unit, T भी तो बढ़ेगा. Understanding? Understanding the model? If you have any doubts, ask me, because एक ही बुक है मॉडल्स एंड थियरीज माजिद हुसैन, दूसरी बुक है सिद्धार्थ, दोनों में ये प्रॉपरली नहीं दिया है मॉडल्स. फाइन, डोंट डू एट ऑल फ्रॉम माजिद हुसैन. फ्लैट, यस, ये सारे assumption लिमिटेशन ही है, बट स्टिल हिज थियरी इज रेलिवेंट इन, बिकॉज एक ओवरऑल आइडिया देता है. गेटिंग इट? केस स्टडी लिखनी है हमें, डाल सकते हैं नहीं, डालनी ही है. मॉडल्स एंड थियरीज पेपर 2 में मार्क्स चाहिए तो केस स्टडी डालो. सी, डिड यू सी यस्टरडेज लेक्चर? फाइन. कितना कैसा था अप्रोच? विथ ईच एंड एवरीथिंग ही हैड अ फैक्ट्स टू सब्सटेंशिएट. फाइन, ऐसा ही आंसर होना चाहिए. ईच एंड एवरीथिंग शुड बी सब्सटेंशिएटेड विथ फैक्ट्स. यूपीएससी में फैक्चुअल डेटा की जरूरत नहीं है, एनालिसिस पे है, कुछ एनालिसिस नहीं. यू हैव टू सब्सटेंशिएट इट विथ फैक्ट्स. फाइन, एवरीथिंग ही हैड अ फैक्ट्स. डेट भी याद थी. फाइन. Though it was very general, it was not of that level like Uday Bhaskar. Fine, because one is public speaker, one is civil servant. Obviously, there will be difference in the. Yes, it was not of that. मतलब ऐसा कुछ बहुत ये नहीं लगा था. हाँ, उसको एडमिशन कैंसिल कर रहे हो उसको, because that is not the way to speak to any senior person. He is from your batch. Intensity of the cultivation. So point number 1, intensity of the cultivation. Intensity of cultivation decreases away from market, because the cost of production is high. Because the cost of production is high. Sorry, cost of transportation increases, not high, because the cost of transportation increases. Cost of transportation increases. Next, the market price of both the crop being same, market price of the crop being same, the locational rent will be determined by cost of transportation. Is determined by the cost of transportation. Cost of transportation. Understand this graph. I am taking crop same hai. I am taking two lines, intensive cultivation wali line and extensive cultivation wali line. पहले मैं इससे समझा देता हूँ. If I have you understood, you should not engage in intensive cultivation away from the market because cost of transportation is more. So can I say यहाँ का the number of people, farmers who are doing intensive cultivation will decrease, and decrease will be very, very fast. Fine? Decrease will be very, very fast. The number of farmers who are going to do intensive cultivation will decrease, and decrease will be very, very fast. There will be some farmers who are going to do extensive cultivation also. Don't draw this. But there will be less number of farmers because जो है intensive cultivation वाला farmers, they are getting 2,500 rupees profit. Profit goes on decreasing. Profit goes on decreasing. Profit goes on decreasing. So this is distance. This is rupees. And ultimately zero profit होता है because transportation cost यहाँ से ज़्यादा है. The person who is doing extensive cultivation is getting less money here because his production is less. But because his product is also less, उसका profit इतने जल्दी decrease नहीं होता. If he is getting 1,000 rupees here, यहाँ पे maybe थोड़ा कम, maybe थोड़ा कम, and he will be, because उसका transportation cost will be less, because उसका production is less, we can say he will be able to do extensive cultivation up to a certain distance, maybe up to 55 kilometers. उसके बाद again the transportation cost will increase, so he won't be able to afford it. The point where these two are joining each other, this is the limit of intensive cultivation, and this is the region जहाँ पे extensive cultivation should be done. It is very, very mathematical. See, what does he say? यहाँ तक ही लोगों ने intensive cultivation करना चाहिए, because if you are a farmer who is doing intensive cultivation in this region, your profit is less than the farmer who is doing extensive cultivation. If you are a farmer who is doing extensive cultivation in this region, your profit is less because आपका friend जो intensive cultivation है उसको ज़्यादा profit मिल रहा है. Understanding this graph? So this crucial point, point A, is the crucial point after which extensive cultivation farmer will be more profitable, and before which the intensive cultivation wala farmer will be more profitable, because this denotes distance in kilometers from marketplace. And this denotes locational rent. This denotes locational rent, और जिसका मैंने word use किया profit. Fine? Why? Most economical point, where is going to do? A farmer cannot do intensive and extensive cultivation both at the same time. Getting it? Getting this graph? So now draw this graph. Food parks, Weber's industrial location theory, not this. कहाँ पे? Market के पास, because the land price is very high. हाँ तो ही ना, land price is very high. So if you are doing agriculture, then and if you are two friends, your friend is doing business, किसको ज़्यादा profit होगा? किसको ज़्यादा profit होगा? The business वाले को. So he has to do agriculture. He has to do agriculture. If you are to do agriculture, you are क्या हुआ? See, if you are doing agriculture, here you want better returns than, because you are an economic rational man. If you are doing agriculture, you have to have a better returns than the surrounding region. So as a result of this, you will try to maximize the profits. Maximize the profits, तो आपको आपके business friend इतना ही ज़्यादा profit होना चाहिए, so you will do intensive cultivation. तो उसकी बात नहीं कर, हाँ तो इसलिए तो perishable goods है ना. हाँ. तो intensive cultivation में क्या क्या करोगे आप? What do you mean by intensive cultivation? हाँ. तो milk, dairy farming, is it not intensive? Vegetables. So milk and vegetable zone is this only. Milk and vegetable zone. Rye, potato. This is what it is. Wheat. Rent is not rent. Rent is profit. Don't go by the word. Rent is profit. Locational rent is not rent, it is profit. Understanding? Rent matlab, understand, rent matlab geographical terms में profit. हाँ. If you are having a land, still you want more maximum profit. Who are you? Economic rational man. To get the maximum profit, will you do extensive farming or will you do intensive farming? So you are doing intensive farming. अब intensive farming का one subtype is rice farming, another subtype is vegetable farming. So intensive में से कौन से crops? See, his model is intensity of the cultivation. His second model will be the crops. अब intensive farming has to be done here, but what? Rice या vegetable? He will say vegetable. Understanding? चाहे land आपकी हो या ना हो. Understanding this? Yes. Can I continue? For the crops near the city, as the transportation cost is less, therefore intensity of the production can be increased with the application of irrigation, fertilizers, etc. But for a farm away from the city, such increase in the production will increase the transportation cost. क्यों? Because transportation cost depends upon unit. Increase the transportation cost, and therefore may offset the gains. Offset the gains, and hence gains is nothing but locational rent, and hence extensive farming is practiced. Understanding? Extensive farming is practiced. Model 2 is regarding variation in the land use. Now what does this model will try to explain? Understand? कि कौन सा क्रॉप आपने कहाँ पे लेना चाहिए. So you are having two crops, crop A and crop B. Fine. Crop A is having larger yield and crop B is having smaller yield, less yield. So where you will take crop A, near the market or away from the market? Why near the market? Near the market. Why away from the market? Type of the crop matlab? नहीं, forget about the first case. अब what crop should be? Yield ज़्यादा है, yield कम है. So larger yield should I grow near the market or smaller yield should I grow near the market? If you grow larger yield near the market, your transportation cost reduces. If you take larger yield near the market, smaller yield near the market, then also transportation cost is less. But if you take smaller yield away from the market, then maybe transportation cost will be greater than the yield, fine. But if you take larger yield away from the market, so what I mean to say is, वो कहता है it is determined by the market price of two different crops. In the first case, there was only single crop. यहाँ पे अब आएगा more than one crop, fine. So उसमें there are different case studies. Case study 1, case study 2. Same price, same transportation cost, fine. So it depends. If the price is same and the transportation cost is same, तो फिर दूसरा होगा मॉडल. If the price is different and the transportation cost is same, then it will be different case, fine. This is his theory, locational rent पे. So next, किसमें? नहीं, same है. Yield and production is same. Next point. Von Theunen's second model. Von Theunen's second model examines the location of several crops in relation to market. Examines the location of several crop in relation to market, which is based on several crops in relation to the distance away from the market, which is based on market price, मार्केट प्राइस हमेशा डिमांड एंड सप्लाई पे बेस्ड होगी. सेकंड, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन रेट, थर्ड, कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन, ब्रैकेट वाली चीजें लिखने की जरूरत नहीं. दिस इज फॉर योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग, विच हैज ऑलरेडी अज्यूम्ड टू बी सेम. एंड यील्ड, production and yield is same, productivity is different. Productivity is yield per unit area. Intensity is different. Intensity की कितना crops आप ले रहे हो. Productivity is production की intensity. Production की intensity is productivity. Production is, this is a farm. How much is the production? 10 kgs. So productivity is per acre में कितना है आपका production? Per acre, per unit is productivity. What is intensity? How can they be same? That is what I am saying. Production is total. Productivity is per unit. Intensity is also per unit. Fine? Yield is production. Capacity is capacity, production is outcome. That is productivity. That is production. Capacity है 1 टन की, production हो रहा है 0.5 टन. So जो इंडिया का common problem है, we say productivity of the Indian land is less. Can I continue? In this condition, he gave two scenarios. In this condition, he gave two scenarios. Scenario 1, same production cost and yield. Same production cost and yield, but different ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट. बहुत आसान है. सो जिसका ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट कम है, इट विल बी प्रोड्यूस्ड अवे फ्रॉम द मार्केट. सेम प्रोडक्शन कॉस्ट एंड यील्ड बट डिफरेंट ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट. In such case, two crops X and Z, X and Y, two crops X and Y, the crop which is more costly to transport, we'll take for example X is more costly to transport. Fine. Crop which is more costly to transport, crop X will be grown. Tell me answer. कहाँ पे? Near the market. Will be grown near the market. Then crop Y. This is because the locational rent for crop X decreases more rapidly than the locational rent for crop Y. This is because the locational rent for crop X decreases more rapidly than the locational rent for crop Y. And वही सेम डायग्राम. इसका क्योंकि ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट बहुत ज़्यादा है, सो जितना आप दूर जाओगे उतना आपका प्रॉफिट बहुत जल्दी डिक्रीज होते जाएगा. राइट. इसका लोकेशनल रेंट कम है, सो जितना आप दूर जाओगे आपको ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट इनकर करना पड़ेगा. यू विल हैव टू पे द ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट, बट बिकॉज इसका ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट इज लेस, it will not decrease rapidly. Fine. So the same point, but because in this point किसका प्रॉफिट ज्यादा है? ग्रीन कलर के लाइन का या येलो? ग्रीन. So this is the region from where you will take crop B. This is the region from where you will take crop A. Understanding? For example, if you grow milk here, if you take milk here, and imagine there is no way of preservation, even if there is a way of preservation, you will have to supply it on the everyday basis. So you are taking two crops, anda and milk. So milk यहाँ पे क्योंकि perishable है, अंडे यहाँ पे. इस region में जो transition region है, अंडा या milk, generally अंडा, because थोड़ा ज़्यादा profit है अंडे में. Getting it? That is what it is. Yes. पूछो पूछो. कौन सी लाइन? एग्जैक्टली दैट पॉइंट. हाँ, वहाँ यहाँ मतलब यहाँ 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 where? If you are taking any crop, what you are going to take? The crop Y, because green color has more rate than this line. In the market, but your transportation cost is more. Yes, that is why two different crops, X and Y. Yield will be same. So what will matter is transportation cost. That is why we are drawing. So if you take this crop, uska transportation cost is more. So इसलिए as you are going away from market, your profit is falling very fast. इसका yield is less, इसका transportation cost is less, yield is same. Transportation cost is less. Even if you go away from the market, your profit does not fall that fast. So to have a maximum profit after this point, you should not take crop X. This is what he is saying. See, the lines show how much your profit is decreasing. So this is the locational rent for crop X. This is the locational rent for crop Y. Away after 10 kilometers, if you take crop X, your profit is less than anyone who is taking crop Y. So he says this is the optimum zone of crop Y. This is saying this is the zone of crop X. Fine? ये क्या है? This is the locational rent. ये lines क्या है? ये locational rent है. Your profit. कोई और doubt? Everyone? क्योंकि ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट ज़्यादा है ना. सो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट ज़्यादा है. अंडे एंड मिल्क का, क्रॉप एक्स इज मिल्क. फाइन. Crop X is milk. So milk, if you are very near, and it has to be transported on everyday basis, maybe after every 10 hours. Crop Y is eggs. It can be transported even after 3 days. अंडा 3 दिन में खराब नहीं होगा. Fine. So if you are taking अंडे here, it is having, you are not in profit. Why it is you are not in profit? Because यहाँ तक transportation cost जो है, which of milk you can manage, and milk will have more price in the market, because market की price depends upon demand and supply. So which is more in demand? Milk. But if you take milk here, and if you go after every 10 hours to supply, so extra transportation cost लगा. So इस पूरे zone में which crop you should take? Egg. बस यही है. Yes. 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 You should understand when he gave his theory, 1850s, तब कहाँ पे था ये रेफ्रिजरेशन टेक्नोलॉजी सब? अब तो सब कुछ चेंज हो चुका है. एंड मदर डेयरी इज मदर डेयरी, इट इज़ नॉट अ फार्मर. हम किसकी बात कर रहे हैं? हम फार्मर की बात कर रहे हैं. कैन एन इंडिविजुअल फार्मर अफोर्ड द टेक्नोलॉजी दैट मदर डेयरी हैज़? So the single machine of mother dairy which converts it is 1.2 crore. Can farmer afford that? If Indian farmer can afford 1.2 crore, why will he do farming? Yes. Yes. अब तो टेक्नोलॉजी से एवरीथिंग हैज चेंज. दैट इज व्हाई यूपीएससी आस्क्स यू ना रेलेवेंस इन प्रेजेंट डे. दिस इज नॉट रेलिवेंट इन प्रेजेंट डे. प्रेजेंट डे तो इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन न्यूमरस फैक्टर्स. गवर्नमेंट सब्सिडीज, फ्री कर दिया पेट्रोल, कहीं पे भी कुछ भी क्रॉप लो. अंडरस्टैंडिंग? गेटिंग इट? उसके बाद फॉरेस्ट रीजन कुछ नहीं करे. रैंचिंग, it should be wood ranching. So what is that orange color ka line? It is the locational rent of crop X. Green color का line is the locational rent of crop Y. Locational rent जब भी confuse हो जाओगे तो बस imagine करना profit. So crop X का profit goes on decreasing very rapidly because उसका transportation cost is high. So as you are going away from the market, उसका profit goes on decreasing. Fine? Can I continue? Hence, crop X will be taken nearer to the market. Crop X will be taken nearer to the market. And crop Y away from the market. Crop Y away from the market. Scenario 2. Same, there are two crops. X dash and Y dash having same production and transportation cost. But different market price and yield. मतलब production, same production cost and transportation cost, but different market price and yield. Same production cost and different market price and yield. Where X dash has higher yield and low market price. Y dash has lesser yield but greater market price. Now tell me, in this scenario what you are going to do. X dash has higher yield but less market price. So X dash 5 kg का आपको 25 रुपए मिल रहा है. Y dash has lower yield, so 3 kg का या 2 kg का आपको 25 रुपए मिल रहा है. Which you will grow near the market? Higher yield वाला, because transportation cost is more. So if you go on away from the market, you have to transport this 5 kgs. Fine? If you go away from the market, you have to transport only 2 kgs. So you will always grow near the market, which is less transportation, because इसमें what add होगा? प्लस इसमें ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट भी तो ऐड हो रहा है, प्लस ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट, एंड देन यू विल बी योर प्रॉफिट और लोकेशनल रेंट. अंडरस्टैंडिंग? सो जिसका हायर यील्ड है, you have to transport more to the market. So even if you get less market price, you will try to increase your profit by decreasing the transportation cost, and therefore you will be growing it near the market. What? Transportation cost depends upon yield per unit area, distance. Transportation cost depends upon what? Distance plus weight. यील्ड अलग है तो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट ऑटोमेटिकली अलग हो गया. अंडरस्टैंडिंग? व्हेन ही सेज ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट, इट इज पर यूनिट एरिया. दोनों के लिए ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट इज सेम, बट यील्ड दोनों का अलग है, तो फाइनल ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट दोनों का अलग हो गया. पर यूनिट एरिया ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट इज सेम. पर यूनिट आपने सेम रखा. You are growing near the market, your transportation cost is 2 rupees per unit, fine, but you have to transport 100 kgs per unit per kilometer, fine, and you have to transport this for 5 kilometers. Your yield is 100 kgs. So for 5 kilometers, how much it will be? 2 rupees per kilometer per kg. So what will be your transportation cost? Can I say 2000 rupees? Fine, 5 kilometers के distance पे 2 into 5 into 100 कितना होता है? बहुत ज़्यादा हो गया. और एग्जाम्पल ले लो इसका. But now your transportation cost increases to 5 rupees per kilometer per unit. But you have to transport only 20 kgs because आपका yield अलग है, and you are going to get higher price away from the market. You are going to get higher price for that product. यहाँ पे transportation price में फर्क पड़ा है ना, per kg. Understanding? देखो, this is very simple. इसके ऊपर तो based है पूरी industries. Second scenario जो है, that is what is the real life का scenario. Away from the market, उतना transportation cost is going to increase. पेट्रोल दोनों सेम है. इफ यू नो, पेट्रोल फ्रॉम सऊदी अरेबिया एंड पेट्रोल फ्रॉम इंग्लैंड बोथ इज सेम, बट पेट्रोल फ्रॉम इंग्लैंड विच इज सोल्ड बाय शेल एंड रिलायंस, एंड पेट्रोल फ्रॉम सऊदी अरेबिया विच इज सोल्ड बाय इंडियन मार्केटिंग गवर्नमेंट का मार्केटिंग कंपनीज, दैट इज HP, ONGC एक्सेट्रा. रिलायंस का पेट्रोल 1 रुपये से महंगा है, शेल का पेट्रोल 1.5 रुपये से महंगा है पर लीटर. वाई इट इज सो? बिकॉज इट इज ब्रॉट फ्रॉम इंग्लैंड. सो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट इंक्रीजेस. कुछ नहीं है. फिर टू सेल इट, तो व्हाट डू दे से? कंपनी से दिस इज हाई स्पीड डीजल एंड हाई स्पीड पेट्रोल. कुछ नहीं है हाई स्पीड. अंडरस्टैंडिंग? यस. अगर क्रॉप सेम होता तो वी वुड हैव गिवन XZ वाइड. आई डिडंट से क्रॉप इज सेम. देयर आर 2 डिफरेंट क्रॉप्स. व्हाट इज सेम इज प्रोडक्शन कॉस्ट एंड ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट. ऑयल, हाँ. This is an example to make you understand what is changing here. Confusion point क्या है? Transportation cost is same. Yes, transportation cost is same, 2 rupees. Fine, but yield अलग है, तो transportation cost भी तो अलग हो रहा है. For example, transportation cost is same, 2 rupees per kilometer per unit. But पहले केस में you have to transfer 100 kgs. केस बी में you have to transport only 50 kgs. आपका ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट इससे एग्जैक्टली हाफ हो गया. फाइन. सेकेंड, क्यों? बिकॉज इट इज फार अवे फ्रॉम द मार्केट एंड देयरफॉर डिमांड सप्लाई. सिंपल, डिमांड एंड सप्लाई. So it is in more demand and it is in less supply. Therefore, it is having higher price. Profit is what? Production cost plus transportation cost. minus your final price you get, that is profit. प्रॉफिट के ऊपर ही तो पूरा गेम है. इतना सिंपल चीज क्यों कॉम्प्लिकेट कर रहे हो इसको? व्हाई यू आर कॉम्प्लिकेटिंग इट? इट इज वेरी सिंपल. हायर यील्ड, लो मार्केट प्राइस. बिकॉज हायर यील्ड है, मार्केट प्राइस इज लेस, सो यू हैव टू ट्रांसफर मोर अमाउंट, बट because the market price is less, you will not get that much higher returns, so you will grow near the market. इसका yield is less, but इसका market price is high, so even if the transportation cost is more away from the market, आपको less quantity ले जानी है and उसके आपको ज़्यादा पैसे मिल रहे हैं, so you will grow it away from the market. Getting it? Imagine करो कि you yourself are one farmer and आपकी एक ज़मीन दिल्ली को टच है एंड आपको फार्मिंग ही करनी है, और एक ज़मीन है हरियाणा के इंटीरियर्स में. सो दिल्ली के टच को जो ज़मीन है, यू विल ग्रो अ क्रॉप XZ, फाइन, विच में हैव लो प्राइस बट हायर यील्ड, फाइन. बिकॉज इफ यू ग्रो इन द इंटीरियर्स, तो यू विल हैव टू ट्रांसपोर्ट इट ऑन द डेली बेसिस, एंड वहाँ पे यू विल डू एक्सटेंसिव फार्मिंग ऑफ ओनली दोज क्रॉप्स. दोनों मॉडल को कंबाइन करो, इट्स वेरी सिंपल. कंबाइंड ओनली, इट इज मोर और लेस कंबाइंड ओनली. ये दोनों मिला के तो वो फाइनल थियरी दे रहा है. ही इज पुटिंग ऑल द सिनेरियोज एंड देन ही इज गोइंग टू गिव द फाइनल लैंड यूज पैटर्न. एग्रीकल्चर प्रोडक्ट है आयरन एंड स्टील, तो यू आर नॉट. लेस किससे बनता है? पोटैटो और दो ही इनपुट चाहिए, नमक, फाइन. सो पोटैटो विल हैव अ, एंड पोटैटो एंड नमक का अगर वो कहता है ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट इज सेम, सो पोटैटो क्योंकि उसका वजन ज़्यादा है मार्केट के पास, नमक क्योंकि उसका वजन कम है मार्केट से दूर. इतना सिंपल. आयरन एंड स्टील को क्या मिक्स करना है इसमें? वो वेबर की थियरी है, फाइन. सो नेक्स्ट पॉइंट. आई थॉट मैं ये 15 मिनट में खत्म करूंगा, इतना आसान है. सो वेयर डिड आई स्टॉप? X and YZ. As the XZ has higher yield, X dash has higher yield. Therefore, the cost of transportation per unit, ताकि बाद में आप कंफ्यूज ना हो, cost of transportation per unit will be high. But as it has lesser market price than Y dash, therefore, as one moves away from the market, he will incur unnecessary increase in the transportation cost. And hence, crop XZ is grown nearer to the market. On other hand, change your paragraph. On other hand, less yield plus higher market price, less yield and higher market price means that farmer can offset, means the farmer can offset the excess increase in the transportation cost, excess increase in the transportation cost, and hence grows the crop away from the, and hence grows crop YZ, Y dash away from the market. Y dash away from the market. देखो इतना आसान थियरी तो है ही नहीं, सबके डायग्राम्स भी सेम है, सब कुछ सेम है, सिर्फ आपको तीन कंडीशन याद रखनी है. एंड whether this 20, 10 should come exactly what I have drawn, no, entirely choice is yours. Either 0, 1, 2, 3 लिखो, कोई नहीं पूछने वाला. फाइन, यहाँ पे 10 आने दो, यहाँ पे 20 आने दो, कोई नहीं. You just have to show कि how इसका land use goes on decreasing. This is how उसका land use goes on decreasing. This का land use does not decrease that much in a manner. Fine, this is what is the concept. See, there are only 2 diagrams in this. मतलब अभी तक जो हमने पढ़ा है, इसके बाद और डायग्राम्स आएंगे. One is regarding intensity, extensive. Other is regarding crop X, crop Y. And study each and every unit separately. Questions come separately. Can I continue? Based on the above principles, based on the above principles, von Thunen suggested a zonation theory of land use. Von Thunen suggested a zonation theory of land use. As shown in the figure below. As shown in the figure below. Zonation theory of land use as shown in the figure below. Can I rub this diagram? Done with everyone? As shown in the figure below. So, this is how the figure is. Draw this. A straight line. और एक स्ट्रेट लाइन, बीच में गैप, क्यों? क्योंकि हम काम कम कर रहे हैं, हमें नहीं तो 2 डायग्राम बनाना पड़ेगा. A semicircle, fine. Center of the semicircle market. उसके बाद zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4, zone 5, and zone 6. Diagram has to be very, very neat and tidy. Leave some space here. No need of shading in the exam. अगर time नहीं है तो I am just showing you. What does it say? What you will take in zone 1? Option is potato, wheat, rye या milk. Zone 1, milk and vegetables. Zone 2, बस यही है theory. Fine. Then he will say modify it. इसलिए मैंने ये अलग part रखा है. If you see, day before yesterday we had seen 2 circles. Fine. So modification क्या है? Rivers, river आ गई. River transport develop हुआ. That time there was no railway transport, river transport. Because of the river transport, the cost of transportation reduced by 90%. River is the cheapest means of transport. And इसलिए market भी extend होगा, ये भी zone extend होगा, ये भी zone extend होगा. Fine. Earlier they are in the concentric belts. So zone 1 is market gardening and milk production. Zone 1 is market gardening and milk production. Zone 2 is firewood and lumbering. Remember the year in which he gave? Firewood was the only source of energy. It was required on the daily basis. But उसका price कम था as compared to the milk production. Because and इसलिए zone 3 में, zone 2 में आया. Zone 3 crop farming. It can be wheat, it can be anything. Without intensive cultivation है. So without fallow. Zone 4 extensive cultivation, crop farming. With fallow. Zone 5 3-field system. And zone 6 livestock. 3 different crops. Two different crops or leaving the land fallow, or 3 different crops. बहुत सिंपल है थियरी. मार्केट गार्डनिंग, उसके बाद आग के लिए वुड, उसके बाद क्रॉप बट विदाउट एनी खाली लैंड, क्रॉप खाली लैंड एंड पैस्चर लैंड के साथ, फिर 3 फील्ड सिस्टम जिसमें 1 लैंड विल बी फॉर पैस्चर, 1 लैंड विल बी फॉर क्रॉप, 1 लैंड खाली रहेगी हमेशा, एंड लाइफ स्टॉक ग्रेजिंग, वुल और फॉर एनीथिंग लाइफ स्टॉक रियरिंग. लाइफ स्टॉक किसके लिए? बकरी या एनीथिंग. मटन के लिए नहीं, कि मटन तो पेरिशेबल है, उसको सप्लाई करना पड़ेगा. हाँ वही लाइफ स्टॉक रेयरिंग. सेल नहीं करेंगे मार्केट में, खुद के यूज के लिए, फॉर देयर लाइवलीहुड. सप्लाई कैसे करोगी? 1850s की थियरी है ये. फिश कहाँ खाई जाती है? यू ईट नॉन वेज? फिश और चिकन, व्हाट? सब. व्हाट यू लाइक मोर, मटन या चिकन? फाइन, बिकॉज शी इज फ्रॉम नॉर्थ इंडिया, शी डज नॉट हैव एक्सेस टू फिशेस. फाइन. यही जाके किसी गोवा में किसी को पूछो या केरला में पूछो, दे विल लाइक मोर फिश. It is all dependent upon the market, because fish, mutton, chicken perishable में है. आजकल भूल जाओ, आजकल इस रेफ्रिजरेशन टेक्नोलॉजी. सो ये सब किया जाएगा. व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय मार्केट गार्डनिंग? मार्केट गार्डनिंग मीन्स, जीएस में पढ़ाया था, याद है? वॉट एवर इज डिमांडेड इन द मार्केट यू विल ग्रो देयर. सो इफ वेजिटेबल्स आर देयर यू विल ग्रो वेजिटेबल्स. अगर अंडे चाहिए मार्केट में, यू डू पोल्ट्री एंड चिकन फार्मिंग. अगर मटन चाहिए तो यू विल पुट गोट फार्म्स ओवर देयर. दैट इज व्हाट इज मार्केट गार्डनिंग. कहाँ पे प्रैक्टिस होता है? सराउंडिंग एवरी अर्बन सेंटर. फाइन. व्हाटएवर इज देयर इन द मार्केट. इसी को यूएसए में कहते हैं ट्रक फार्मिंग, बिकॉज इट इज सप्लाइड ऑन द एवरीडे बेसिस. क्लियर विद द थियरी? आधा घंटा कौन से नोट्स? स्टाफ रूम, कबर्ड दे दो. Who is the largest producer of milk in the world? India or China? India. India. केरला में मिल्क? नहीं, नॉट एट ऑल. जमीनी कहाँ है वहाँ? मिल्क के लिए रिक्वायर पैस्चर. इट इज परमाफ्रॉस्ट. कनाडा तो बिल्कुल भी मिल्क नहीं. न्यूजीलैंड इज द लार्जेस्ट एक्सपोर्टर ऑफ मिल्क. लार्जेस्ट प्रोड्यूसर इज इंडिया. कंज्यूमर आल्सो. Getting it? Easy? The zone 1 is the region of intensive dairy and market gardening. Is the zone of intensive dairy or market gardening. Because of perishability. And therefore, due to perishability, and therefore daily supply to the market. So farmer क्या कर रहा है? Because it is perishable, उसको daily supply करना है, so he is reducing उसका transportation cost. Now your doubt is clear. Therefore, to reduce the transportation cost, Farmer grows it near the market. Farmer grows it near the market. Zone 2, ये कब लिखना है इतना डिटेल में? जब क्वेश्चन आता है राइट अ शॉर्ट नोट ऑन द कॉन्सेंट्रिक जोन्स ऑफ वॉन थ्योरम, तब लोकेशनल रेंट को बहुत छोटा लिखना है और ये इसके ऊपर फोकस करना है. पूरी वॉन थ्योरम की थियरी आई तो ये सब एक्सप्लेन करने की जरूरत नहीं, सिर्फ डायग्राम बनाओ, इतना लिखो. गेटिंग इट? स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चन आएगा कॉन्सेंट्रिक जोन्स ऑफ वॉन थ्योरम और लैंड यूज ऑफ वॉन थ्योरम अवे फ्रॉम द मार्केट. Zone 2 was used, underline the word was used for production of firewood in the bracket bulky होता है firewood, which was in great demand in the cities. Zone 3, 4 and 5. Zone 3, 4 and 5 was used for production of crops, in the zone 3 rye was the most important. Rye was the most important crop. तब wheat नहीं था इतना. Rye was the most important crop. देखो जैसे कुछ साल पहले इंडिया में wheat बहुत कम खाते थे. ज्वार बाजरा was the most important crop. Similarly वहाँ पे rye was the most important crop. Fine. What will be the difference between zone 3, 4? Just intensity. Intensity will go on decreasing as you go away from the market. Fine. That is the next point. The differences between these zones. The differences between these zones is in the intensity of cultivation. Zone 4. Zone 4. Less intense. Why? Because it is located away from the market. Clear? And was used for seven-year crop rotation. Seven-year crop rotation consisting of 1 year of rye, क्यों 7-year crop rotation? 7 साल में 7 different crops, because if they take only rye तो लॉस में जाएंगे, उनको प्रोडक्ट चेंज करना पड़ेगा, so that otherwise zone 3 वाले प्रॉफिट में रहेंगे, लॉस में जाएंगे. 1 year of rye, 1 year of barley. अब एग्जाम में इतना डिटेल में मत याद रखो. 7-year crop rotation consisting of rye, barley, ऐसे लिखो. 1 year of barley, 1 year of oats, 1 year of oats, 3 years of pasture. क्यों 3 years of pasture? इनको सप्लाई करने के लिए 3 years of pasture and 1 year fallow. See, when it came for 20 marker, I had written they follow the 7-year crop rotation of 3 along with pasture and year of fallow. बस फाइन, इतना डिटेल में याद रखने की बिल्कुल जरूरत नहीं है. नेक्स्ट, they also produce butter and cheese. They also produce butter and cheese. Zone 5 is what? 3-field system. Zone 5 is the 3-field system in which 3 खेतिया system. History याद है? 3-field system in which 1/3 was used for 1/3 was used for cereals, 1/3 for pasture, and rest 1/3 rest as fallow. ये मार्केट के लिए प्रोड्यूस ही नहीं कर रहे, खुद के जानवरों के लिए पैस्चर, खुद के लिए खाना सीरियल्स एंड एक जमीन फैलो. Anywhere you go in the interiors of India, this is being followed. Right? Zone 6 was the farthest. Zone 6 was the farthest. And therefore, livestock farming was practiced. Livestock farming was practiced. Generally, cattle was kept. Livestock farming was practiced. Generally, the cattle was kept for slaughtering. मतलब कौन सा है ये? Beef producing regions. Cattle was kept for slaughtering. So, क्यों मटन खराब नहीं होगा, बीफ खराब नहीं होगा? Remember, that was the era of colonialism. और हम पे अटैक हुआ था. They first came only for pepper. Pepper say used to good conserve it, preservation. So they used to, that's why they required so much of pepper. That is what his theory is. Understood? So कभी भी एग्जाम में याद रखना the concept of locational rent, case 1, case 2. If it is not asked in detail, forget about explaining them. Intensity, land use, fine. And based on this, he gave zonation. This very easy theory. Modification. He modified it. He modified it. He modified it where there were 2 modifying factors. Where there were 2 modifying factors. 2 modifying factors. One, 2 modifying factors. One, a navigable river. One, a navigable river. And 2, a small city, not the main city, a small city. And draw this diagram with me. कुछ नहीं है, बहुत simple है. ये मैं कह रहा था कि because you have written it there, I am saying कि एग्जाम में एक ही डायग्राम बनाओ, ओरिजिनल मॉडिफाइड, साइड बाय साइड. फाइन, दो दो डायग्राम्स बनाने की जरूरत नहीं. सो व्हाट इज दिस ब्लू कलर का लाइन? दिस इज द रिवर. Because of river, what is going to reduce? Transportation cost. What is going to increase? Speed. Transportation cost is going to reduce and the speed is going to increase. So what will be uska effect? Uska effect will be market will be stretched. Right? Second zone will be stretched. Zone 1. Zone 2 will be stretched. Zone 3 will be stretched. Zone 4 will be stretched. Zone 5 will be stretched. जैसा स्ट्रेच करना है वैसा स्ट्रेच करो. It does not have to be technically right me. You just have to understand कि the zones have stretched. फिर से लिखने की जरूरत नहीं. 1 2 3 इट इज सेल्फ अंडरस्टूड. Draw it as, see, it is not wrong if you bring it all here. Fine, even that is right. So the only thing is it will not combine. सो इसलिए देयर हैज टू बी सम गैप. ऐसे मत करो कि ये सबको यहाँ पे एक पॉइंट पे कंबाइन कर रहे. This is a small city, and small city will also have such concentric zones. Got it? Fine. So next point. Thus in the modified condition, the effect of river which reduces transportation cost and increases speed reduces transportation cost and increases speed, stretched the land use pattern as the zones become parallel to the river. As the zone becomes parallel to the river के साथ साथ. And the last point, the smaller city develops its own market over the period of time. Smaller city develops its own market over the period of time. Finish his theory. Getting it? So this is his theory. Concept of locational rent, intensity, just a minute, intensity, फिर land use, and then this thing. Now your question is? Yes. In the contemporary terms, instead of this river, national highways, they will stretch parallel to the national highways. If there is no national highway, if there is airline transport, then countries will become, one country will be famous only for market gardening, one country will be famous only for beef farming. That is, ये कहाँ developed है? Europe में. Therefore, European countries we study. Denmark, famous for cheese. Netherlands, famous for XYZ. Switzerland, famous for milk. क्यों? क्योंकि ट्रांसपोर्टेशन हैज डिफर्ड. इंडिया ऐसा नहीं है. इंडिया में आज भी ये एप्लीकेबल है. गेटिंग इट? सब ये चेंज होगा. वाटरवे बनेगा, इसलिए तो वाटरवे बना रहे हैं, सो दैट द production cost decreases. Germany. Prussia. मतलब वही जर्मनी. All the theories जो है जर्मनी के. Easy है मॉडल. Once I'll quickly revise what. Locational rent, look at this. Locational rent is the profit, that is transportation cost minus the price at the market. Production cost plus price at the market minus the transportation cost, right? Then based on the locational rent, intensity, near the market more intense, away from the market less intense. Then scenario 2, model 2, crop use. Crop use mein, he talks about the crop which is having higher yield and higher transportation cost. जिसका ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट ज़्यादा है नियर द मार्केट, जिसका ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट कम है अवे फ्रॉम द मार्केट. यू कैन टोटली फॉरगेट सिनेरियो 2 अगर कॉम्प्लेक्स लग रहा है तो. फाइन. बेस्ड ऑन दिस ही गेव द जोनेशन एंड दिस आर द जोन्स. लास्ट पॉइंट, मॉडिफाइड इट विद द रिवर एंड द सिटी. दैट इज हिज थियरी. सेम है. लीस्ट कॉस्ट अप्रोच, इंडस्ट्रीज. फाइन. Based on 2 raw materials, 1 raw material based least transportation cost. So raw material कैसा है उसके ऊपर, if it is fixed or whether it is universal. Universal means कहीं पे भी मिलेगा. For example, water is universal raw material, air is universal raw material. So if it is universal, industry can be near the market or near the raw material. But if it is fixed, industry has to be near the raw material. Right? But if there are more than 1 raw material, triangle. Right? If raw material 1 is fixed, raw material 2 is universal, near raw material 1. If the raw material 1 and 2 both are universal, both are fixed, and if they are gross मतलब they are weight losing, so बीच में कहीं तो. If they are weight gaining, market के पास. इसलिए मैं कल पेपर 2 शुरू कर रहा हूँ. क्यों? Because weight gaining, automobile industry, location of automobile industry. Weight losing, location of iron and steel industry. Understanding? So application is India. Fine? क्या है? Theories कुछ भी नहीं है. Then you have to look at the real life scenarios, and real life scenarios are challenging. अब real life scenarios कैसे है challenging? Understand? Take an example of India. National highway is passing. There is one city here, there is one city here, there is one city here, there is one city here. And therefore, क्या हो रहा है? All this, instead of this way, market gardening, market gardening, market gardening, market gardening. फिर zone 2, zone 2, zone 2, zone 3, zone 3, zone 3. Parallelly extend हो रहा है. Nothing else is happening. Fine? Case study, Delhi, NCR. Delhi NCR is a preferred case study. It does not tell the examiner कौन से state को आप belong करते. If you write case study Chennai, if you write case study Mumbai, examiner will understand you belong to which state. So safest is Delhi NCR, always. Fine? National level है, इसकी case studies भी easily मिलती है. Case study 2, national level, USA. I have shown you the map. Case study 3, international level, West Europe. Fine? Case study 4, current affairs. Nirmala Sitharaman recently said that ENAM should be used rather than this thing, APMC. Fine? So all this will now change. Extra point, underline karo, fetch more marks. With the coming up of ENAM, etc., this all is going to change. Getting it? So हमें वो उसका पॉजिटिव्स नेगेटिव्स नहीं देखना है, मतलब हमें सिर्फ एक पॉइंट एक्स्ट्रा डालना है. और यू कैन टेक बुलेट ट्रेन, और यू कैन टेक हायर मोड्स ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्टेशन, यू कैन टेक एग्रीकल्चर बैकग्राउंड. फाइन? ऑप्टिमिस्टिक, यस. So relevance. ये लिखो जब भी पूछा गया है, या यू कैन यूज दिस ओनली इन शॉर्ट फॉर्म कंक्लूजन में, इट इज स्टिल रेलिवेंट टुडे एक्सेट्रा. क्वेश्चन स्पेसिफिकली आएगा, ऐसा नहीं आएगा एक ही थियरी में सब कुछ लिखना है. Question will be specific relevance today. This is value addition, what we are going to do, the relevance of von Theunen's model. देखो अगर कल क्वेश्चन आता है एनालिसिस ऑफ और रेलिवेंस, कैसे, ऐसे दिमाग चलना चाहिए. एनालिसिस ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ चेंजिंग टेक्नोलॉजी, changing technology in the form of air, rail, road, right, on the basis of subsidies. आज बहुत अच्छा आर्टिकल है इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स में, रादर दैन ब्लेमिंग केजरीवाल यू शुड ब्लेम नरेंद्र मोदी फॉर दिल्ली पोल्यूशन. सो आई वाज रीडिंग कि मे बी दे आर टॉकिंग अबाउट स्मॉग्स एंड एनीथिंग, कुछ नहीं, दे आर ब्लेमिंग गवर्नमेंट का एमएसपी, wrong MSP, which is making Punjab, Haryana ka farmers to grow rice. So it changes everything. Subsidies. And lastly, see, optional है, behavior links आएंगे ना, नहीं ऐसा नहीं है. It all depends upon motivation, culture, etc. What farmers have to grow in the region. So human behavior approach. अलग question. Fine? Give me a minute. कोई आया मेरे से मिनट? ये तो आपके क्रिएटिविटी के ऊपर है ये सब कुछ. फाइन, एक्सेप्ट फॉर दिस पार्ट, दिस इज एंटायरली योर क्रिएटिविटी, हाउ यू कैन लिंक द करंट टू प्रेजेंट. Human behavioral approach, they will say no, culture, role, motivation plays an important role. This thing. And sometimes the farmers don't grow vegetables. इतनी तकलीफ कौन लेगा, कौन डेली जाएगा मार्केट में, जो हमारा चल रहा है वो ठीक है. That is behavioral approach. Human behavioral approach, for example, wheat growing regions now take rice because of green revolution. Behavior change हो गया. They are no longer optimizers. Right? But if the pollution increases, some farmers have started taking jawar and bajra instead of rice. If the government gives them some kind of subsidies, rotavator machines में या किसी में भी, they will change the cropping pattern. Right? So we'll see application. Since 1820s, there has been great deal of change in technology, transportation cost, and international trade with globalization. In this background, full stop, in this background, the von Theunen's application can be studied. The von Theunen's application can be studied. At first, international scale, at international scale, so you draw this diagram with me, international scale ka. See, this is the same thing which I told you much earlier. I don't know how many of you remember. I had left 120 marks ka paper in my second attempt, geography optional, and still I had got an interview call and very good marks in geography. And I was, us attempt mein I have got less marks in interview, otherwise selection ho jata, because I never thought that I will get the interview call. And one of the reason for the interview call is von Theunen. Von Theunen आया 60 mark के लिए, मेरा इतना अच्छा prepared था कि I gave 1 hour 10 minutes to single question. Paper incomplete रह गया, but marks बहुत अच्छे आए. So you should not do, मतलब पूछा नहीं था, मैंने सब कुछ लिख दिया, क्योंकि तब limit नहीं थी. There was no boundary, you should complete in this many pages, etc. Unlimited pages हो सकते. So I kept on writing, made it on every day basis. And see, these things were not there in the notes, but I had liked this model so much, I had done a lot of research on this model, which then I realized that you should never fall in love with the subject, because then subject बर्बाद कर देगा. करने के लिए तो कर सकते हैं, पर जनरली नहीं करते. क्या फर्क पड़ेगा, वैसे भी कोई भी पहले डाला बाद में डाला, वैसे भी वही करना होता है. जो पहले अच्छे से आता है वही पहले करना होता है. यू डोंट हैव टू फॉलो क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 ही पहले लिखो, क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 ही पहले लिखो. So this is the map of Europe. Fine. Can I continue? This entirely is now the market. Berlin, London, Paris, etc. all is this market. This is zone 1. And see, you all know these countries are agricultural countries. Understanding why? Italy ho, ya southern France ho, viticulture, etc. Zone 1. Don't take it like a circle, because in the Scandinavia, climate does not allow. This is zone 3. क्यों? zone 2 का कोई मतलब नहीं रहा आजकल. And therefore steppies में, can you see, it has got more in the interiors. Understanding? wheat, oats producing region. Can it be produced here? No. Just like jawar bajra can be grown in any climates, wahan pe oats can be grown in any climates, and therefore zone 4. Denmark, the largest producer of cheese and butter in the world. Netherlands, Switzerland, सब ये मिल्क प्रोडक्शन के लिए क्यों फेमस है? What? Zone 4. Zone 2 has no relevance now. Firewood. Shading अलग है. Zone 1, market के surrounding zone 1, milk gardening. Zone 2 will not be there because now nobody uses firewood. Red color is the market. Should I continue? Done. Done? I'll ask Manu to share all this. ये जो notes है. ताकि रिवीजन आसान हो जाएगा. See, my work is to give you everything. आपको नहीं आता यूरोप का मैप बनाना तो यूएस का बना दो, वो भी मैं दूंगा. फाइन? ऑब्वियसली यूएस का क्या है? नॉट नॉर्थ अमेरिका, यूएस का मैप. So Dunn found the application of von Thunen in the European region, where where the large urban centers of West Europe, देखो लंदन है यहाँ पे बर्लिन है, फाइन, द कैपिटल ऑफ जर्मनी, नीचे थोड़ा पेरिस है, serves as a market, surrounding the market is the region of market gardening and dairy farming in countries such as Netherlands, Denmark, southern France, next point, with the change in the energy, with the change in the use of energy, zone 2 is no longer required. And therefore Eastern Europe grows wheat, while the interiors of steppes grow oats and barley. Similar study was done in USA by Muller, जो भी थिंकर्स के नाम अगर लिखते हो तो पुट देम इन द बॉक्स, इफ यू डोंट राइट फाइन, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, बट एक चीज याद रख, एक कोई तो याद रख लो, बाय मुल्लर, where he could see the application of von Thunen at national level, developed around megalopolis. Megalopolis is a continuous urban region. So USA में from New York, Washington DC, Baltimore, etc. This is a single city. सारी cities इकट्ठा आ गई और एक single city बन गई. We will call them in geography as megalopolis. Example of developing megalopolis in India: Delhi, Gurgaon. बीच में पता ही नहीं लगता when the city has changed. Fine. और मुंबई, न्यू बॉम्बे. Mumbai, Thane, New Bombay. That is an example of an megalopolis. Surrounding the megalopolis is the region of market gardening, which in USA is known as truck farming, And in the westernmost part of USA, livestock ranching and forestry is practiced. Livestock ranching and forestry is practiced. Livestock ranching and forestry is practiced. बस ज़्यादा डिटेल में बताने की ज़रूरत नहीं. This is what is the map. Ranching, R-A-N-C-H-I-N, ranching. Fruits and vegetables. GS में हम पढ़ते हैं Florida is famous for fruits and vegetables. बस understand why. It is famous for apples, Newfoundland region. Dairy farming, mixed crop. क्यों mixed crop? क्योंकि यहाँ पे tobacco, wheat, maize is taken. Fine, cotton भी है. उसके बाद only wheat. उसके बाद ranching. उसके बाद forestry. Ranching में obviously means wheat will be taken to some extent. This is where your denim has developed, right? Because the farms are very big. The cowboys had to sit on the horses and cover a large area, so उनके cotton के कपड़े फटते थे तो उन्होंने jeans develop किया. What is the reason for jeans? This is the reason for jeans. Yes? Yes. नहीं, cowboys. Miners and cowboys both. Because miners also. Sorry. If you want to write, write. Otherwise, कोई जरूरत. Yes, we do. Mills are located here. They make the paper and export it all around the world. Softwood से. किसमें? गेस वर्क में. फ्रूट्स एंड वेजिटेबल्स के बाद डेयरी. डेयरी के बाद फ्लोरिडा. Fine. Great Plains. Great Plains has three parts: cattle rearing, wheat, extensive wheat cultivation, mixed crop. Chicago, famous for beef, the largest beef center, यहाँ located है. Milwaukee, famous for milk. Detroit will be here. This. Can I continue? What? Yes, megalopolis is the market. अब देखो दिस थोड़ा बहुत चेंज हुआ है. कैलिफोर्निया भी वहाँ पे मार्केट हो गया है, तो दैट इज अ स्मॉल सिटी. फाइन. व्हाट ही हैड सेड. Los Angeles, that is a small city, which he had said. Therefore, we are not writing here New York, because if you write New York, then Los Angeles is also a big city. You have to write this as a megalopolis, the biggest market. His model is more applicable. His model is more applicable in developing and underdeveloped countries. In developing and underdeveloped countries. M. Hussain. M. Hussain. कौन है M. Hussain? माजिद हुसैन, जिनकी बुक्स हम पढ़ते हैं. Right? M. Hussain. He is a very good teacher of human geography. M. Hussain found that in the Great Plains of India, a similar cropping pattern was observed. Where vegetables were grown surrounding the market of Delhi NCR. Vegetables were grown surrounding the market of Delhi NCR. Followed by dairy farming, wheat, and hard cereals such as bajra, jawar in the fringe areas. Bajra, jawar in the fringe areas. Bajra, jawar in the fringe areas. But with the coming up of Green Revolution, and better means of transportation, land use policy has changed. Land use policy has changed. Because of better means of transportation. Because of better means of transportation. A rich farmer is more interested in growing commodities that are more in demand in the market, in growing commodities that are more in demand in the market, while the poor farmer is more interested in growing commodities for his personal consumption. Personal consumption. For his personal consumption. Fine. This is what is the diagram. Understanding? So is it relevant or not today? Yes, it is even relevant today, but थोड़े बहुत changes हो रहे हैं. जैसे बनाने हैं वैसे बनाओ. ये डायग्राम मैंने कहीं नहीं मिलेगा आपको, खुद के मन से बनाया है. फाइन. सो ऐसा नहीं कि ये राइट है रॉन्ग है, थोड़ा बहुत आगे पीछे हो गया तो भी चलेगा. बट व्हाट यू हैव टू शो is not exactly circles, थोड़ा elongated है, because it all depends upon the transportation routes.